Matt, welcome to Unscripted Moments, a podcast about propagandhi.
Hi. Hi, Greg.
It's great to have you here again, Matt. You've been here several times. People have probably remembered your various covers that you did. You did the Adventures in Zoocosis French episode. You did the Iteration cover. You've done an Anti-Manifesto cover. And now you are a worldwide published audiobook voice talent, voicing the full text of Unscripted Moments, Conversations with Propagandhi 2020 to 2025. So everybody will, this is just like me and Matt hanging out now. So Matt, tell me about your interest in audiobook reading in general.
Oh man, it goes thanks for the intro, by the way. You're making me blush. But no, it goes back to when I was a kid. I wanted to act, like I wanted to be an actor, and I don't know why I said it like that. But then I thought they made the stories, and then I learned they didn't, and I don't know. It just like kind of kept morphing into I've always wanted to tell stories. I've always wanted to play music, write music, but yeah, the voices thing. It's like I narrate my own life as I live the day through the day. So, yeah, it's just something I find fun to do all the time. So,
well, it's pretty funny because this is so random that this project wound up happening. I was on Patreon on Chris Hanna from Propagandhi's Patreon, and your username suddenly changed, and it was like, Matt narrates a book or something like that. I
it was something stupid at first. I forget what it was, and then I just copied your name. You have like Greg makes podcasts, and I was like, oh hey, I'll just do that.
Yeah, it was really funny because I didn't know you had any interest in narration, and doing an audiobook is something that Earth Island has long talked to me about. And I personally don't have the skill set to do an audiobook. I truly do not. I don't know anything about audio levels or mixing. I'm a very basic audio guy, very basic editing. Anybody can do.
I don't know that I did, to tell you the truth. I just kind of was like, all right, now, like I've been fucking around with this for years, but now I have to do it right. Like that was kind of the push I needed. But I see what you're saying though. There's a lot. Every little bit that I learn, I'm like, holy shit, there's all this shit that I don't know, and it's
Well, I hit you up and I was like, tell me about your project / are you interested in doing an audiobook? Because Earth Island, who put out Unscripted Moments book, wants it to be audio. And like for the longest time, I was like, I want it to happen, but it's also on the podcast. Do you know what I mean? These interviews exist in audio form already. But when I was editing the book, which took me 19 months of messing around with the transcripts, and it still has so many things that I would change. But it is what it is. It's in the world, it's done. And I worked on it for 19 months. And then I was like, man, how nice would it be to have a fully produced and recorded full version with 30,000 filler words removed? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like totally clean, cleaned up, printed form, and then performed. So that was my resistance, but also my interest, and then the reason why I agreed to it. I don't know. Where are you feeling what I'm saying here?
Well, it's funny you say that because like there was the running gag when you were about to publish the physical copy of the book, well, the ebook, I guess, that we were like, oh, you gonna make an audiobook? Haha. And then when you asked me, I thought you were kidding. I was like, nah, it's that running joke again. But then as I was working on it, every now and then I'd have to like refer to an interview because I'm just like, I don't know what is Sulin trying to say here, or what's Todd talking about or something. And so I would go listen to the interview, and sometimes it sounds like they're talking to you on the phone going through a tunnel. So like just the audio quality thing, I think made sense. Like it's I think I forget. I think I'm completely off question at this point, but yeah, it's like
it's like, why do this, right?
Yeah, but then it does make sense. Like
I was
in the end, it
listening
makes
back.
sense.
Yeah, because I was listening back, and the audio quality in all of the interviews with the band, terrible. Like they're all talking
Not
into
perfect,
a laptop,
but
they're talking into a built-in laptop microphone. There's no good quality interview in the lot. to me, the audio enhancement is huge on the quality.
Yeah. That's that alone, I think, makes it worth it, because it's yeah, you put in the work, I put in the work to like make sure the words are clear and stuff. So yeah, whereas though the interviews are still very raw and very much the words of the people speaking, it kind of cuts to the chase, I guess. So yeah, I think I think Steve, yeah, he said it's like in a more digestible format or something, and I think that's just right.
Tell me about some of the challenges that you faced throughout the past 4 months making this book.
Oh man, there's a there's a lot of things that I wasn't sure how to approach. Like sometimes I would record something and then take a break, and then you come back and you're like, why do I sound so different all of a sudden? And like just little things like that that were the biggest challenges. Like sometimes you just have an edit, or like you record a part and then it's great. The take is freaking great. But then you're listening to it and you're like, oh shit, there's a truck that drove by when I said that. And then you go back to re-record that. And again, you don't sound the same. And, but yeah, finding good times to record so that there's not, a ton of traffic behind the house. I'm also not a trained actor. So trying to, even though there's not much acting involved in this, but like you're trying to honor what they were trying to say when they said it. And so, yeah, you have to kind of, I'm trying to at least like communicate the emotion they were having at the time. So, yeah. So,
it's matching the tone, I think, would be huge, because if they're trying to be funny and you come off as overly serious, it might be like a mismatch, or vice versa. You know what I mean? Just staying true to the tone of the conversations themselves
without listening to them too much. Because another, probably the biggest challenge, particularly for Chris, since I've heard his voice so much on his podcast, was to not mimic them.
Mimic him,
With Chris, I think there's a couple times where I've mimicked him. With you also, because I'm used to your voice also. With the others, I think Beav and Sulin probably were spared this the most. Chris was probably the one that's the hardest to not mimic.
You've communicated to me some of the hardest chapters to record privately. Would you like to share some of the ones that you really struggled to get over the finish line?
Oh man, the Jord chapters are tough every time. I think it's part of it has to do with he just strings so many thoughts together and then somehow wraps it around and it all makes sense together. And I was having so much trouble kind of pacing him, I guess. I'm not sure. I'm not remembering. I should have written those down, because I'm not sure. Do you have any that you remember that
I think that there was one Jord chapter where you were like, someone has to stop him. He's out of control. And I was laughing so hard. And it was probably the global genocide government issue chapter. I think that one was very long, because I made him talk about 3 cover songs across 2 different LPs and multiple recording projects. That's probably the one that you're mostly thinking about. But then there's another chapter where he comes back on the podcast a couple years later, and he's got this closing monologue where he's talking about, I believe it was something about maximum rock and roll.
And he sent you the email, right? That one?
Yeah. And then he goes off on this big, it's like 2 pages of block text. And, that's my bad for not doing a little bit more careful job on the editing of the actual text. But he's got some long
It's what
passages.
He's saying. Yeah. No, I referred to the actual interview, and listening to him, it's listening to him actually helped me figure out, okay, he takes a breather here kind of thing. He stops to think for a second here, which in writing, how do you do that?
I know.
But yeah, so it's crazy. He's able to just string these thoughts together. It's crazy.
He's very detailed. What was your lifestyle like while recording this audiobook? You did it all yourself. The thing is that the reason this book is different from other audiobooks, which I really want listeners to grasp, is that you had no one else. When normal people go to recording studios to record audiobooks, they have a recording engineer and them, and they have an isolation booth, and there's a lot of help. You did literally 100% of this recording, mixing, editing, performing all alone. So that's a huge difference.
Yeah, I think the reason I did it that way, well, I mean, I don't think we had the resources to hire a bunch of people to do anything, but this is how essentially I don't know if you're familiar with Dungeon Crawler Carl, but the guy that does the audiobooks, Jeff Hayes, was just like live streaming himself doing the audiobook, and he's doing all the voices as he goes along and just recording that stuff in Ableton. And I was like, holy fuck, it's that easy. Yeah, so my schedule was messed up. I was like, some days I was sleeping during the day. Some days I was sleeping in 2 different shifts. And then the work got done mostly at night. The editing was probably the hardest part. That's the how much space. So sometimes I don't know, you got to edit stuff out, like mouth noises, breathing, car sounds, obviously. And then you got to kind of decide like how close do you want the words to be together? What pacing do you want to speak? That's all like stuff that like I had to kind of figure out on the go. And the editing was a huge part of that, because you're like, it's a big part of pacing, I guess. And then the mixing, it kind of like isn't that complicated, because like my voice is pretty low and steady, like it's always the same pretty much. So I had what basically is called a kind of like a pedal board for a guitar player. I just had a signal chain that was pretty consistent, like almost exactly the same every time. So it was kind of a copy and paste thing. It was really the editing that was the biggest issue, probably.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not really sure what else to share. Is there anything else that you gleaned from this experience? Because you thought that this was going to be a 7-hour long finished product. I thought it was going to be a 14-hour finished product. It wound up being 10 and a half. So we met right in the middle. So
I was surprised by that. Yeah.
10 and a half hours of you reading. I would imagine that you recorded closer to 20 hours and then just filled and all that.
Yeah, probably. I mean, there's probably a total of 20 hours of recording, but there's probably, a total of 80, 90 hours spent recording, just because, bad takes, whether it's my performance or the car driving by or whatever. But yeah, that was the 10 and a half hours. I thought for some reason that was longer. I thought we'd landed on like 12 or something, but yeah.
Man, I hope we're not missing anything.
Yeah.
Maybe we should check the one that was released online, just to make sure that there aren't any chapters missing.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
Whoopsie.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to go back and verify that. So are you still excited about audiobook performance?
Yes. That's what I plan on doing. It's fun. I'm enjoying it. And I want to, the next challenge would be to do voices, do a little bit more of an acting job or something. And, but no, I'm super excited to keep doing this.
What a fun little like backdoor into. You have no idea how thrilled I am that this insane project that I did wound up being something that could potentially lead to something else for you.
For me, it's crazy that like I was completely planning on writing my own story just so I could record it, just so I could have experience. And by experience, I mean like I've been recording for years, but I need to have something published, right? To be considered as someone that has experience. So, you hitting me up with this project was, I couldn't think of a better scenario, and I'm in a better position than ever to actually get started on this. So yeah, it's friggin' awesome. Thanks again.
Yeah, I mean you're totally welcome. So just so that everybody is really clear on this, so all of the interviews that are in the book are performed and read and fully produced and everything to the specs that the audiobook industry has specified. The audiobook was put out and distributed by Earth Island Books in the UK, who did the print copy as well. And there's a new little artistic cover art that Matt Milkowski, our friend in Chicago, adapted from the cover of the book. Sweet. And it looks great, right? So it's you doing all of the tech stuff, me doing the transcriptions, editing, and authorship. our friend Matt Milkowski doing the cover artwork for the book. And it's like such a little, and like Paul does interviews in the book, Keith does interviews in the book. It's like such a little community effort if you really think about it. I mean, this is like us.
You brought us all together. We're your Greg's Avengers or something. I don't know.
It's just like all of us like being obsessively bringing this project to its logical end. Do you know what I mean? Like every avenue that we've explored, we've kind of taken the project to its like logical end. Like there's a print book, there's an audiobook, there's the full archive of podcasts, there's the double CD, there's a cassette version that we made, that we bootlegged. Like we've had so much fun out of this in this little community. It like absolutely blows my mind that we all have managed to do all these crazy little projects.
You know, I've been hiding away in my office for years and just doing these covers for the podcast and then this audiobook and stuff. Like you're basically making me come back out into the world.
Well, good.
So really appreciate it.
Your partner and dogs are not furious with me, right? For dragging you into this world.
No, I think the dogs are enjoying it because the night shift I end up walking them super early in the morning and then again at night and stuff. So they're getting a lot more attention, actually. Yeah.
Amazing.
My partner, she would prefer if I was working during the day. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. I've said to Matt Milkowski before, I asked him, I was like, one time, I was like, is your wife really, really sick of us yet? And he's like, I'll ask. And then he asked, and she replies, not yet, but soon. And I'm like, all right, we've really pushed our luck here.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, what a thrill. The audiobook.
This is awesome. Thanks again,
available.
Dude.
I haven't like checked every single audiobook outlet, but I've seen it on Hoopla. I've seen it on audiobooks.com. I've seen it on Audible, which a lot of people don't want to use because it's associated with Amazon. So just buyer beware. And then do you have anything you want to announce at all, like for other projects, or you still got some the next steps in development?
We do. So I'm in my off time, I'm still working on that, the project that I was planning on working on before jumping onto your audiobook. This one is like, it's in the very, very early stages. I can tell you at this point, it's going to be sci-fi. It's going to be stupid. Like, if it goes according to plan, it should be like just completely injected with ADHD and all kinds of like, I'm thinking punk music, some hardcore and stuff will be kind of it's not going to be an audiobook. It's more going to be like an experience kind of thing. But yeah, that's still super early stages. Otherwise, I don't want to say too much about this, but what you've started for me is actually opening up some doors to do more books. So I'm in talks to do another right now. We haven't landed on a specific title, but I'm pretty sure I know which one we're going to go with. So yeah, super excited. Hi, this is Matt. In post. Greg gave me dibs on editing, so I thought, why don't I sneak in a little preview of the audiobook that's going to be exclusive to podcast listeners. Enjoy! I was walking distance from a local bar called The Zoo, where Propagandhi shot their DVD live from occupied territory. I was in the room for that show as well. Oopsie daisy, that's my impersonation of Paul. I'm sorry, hold on one second. I click here and click here. There we go. Sometimes when I sense the tastes, like I get a flashback of the taste, Yeah, that's not it either. Ooh, yeah, that's it for sure. Same recording. Greg. I want to talk a little bit about Revenge of the Little Shits, because there are still copies of this record available from Recess Records of the original 1994 pressing. Todd Congelier at Recess has copies that he would like to sell. I did a little bit of digging on some information on this record. It has 10 songs produced by John Sutton. I'm wondering if you have any reflections on the Revenge of the Little Shits. Todd. I like it. I haven't listened to it for, 10 years or something. I try not to dwell on the past. For some reason, I don't like to go back, but I remember liking it all. We were gonna go tour in the States a month later, so we couldn't postpone. The songs were roughly what we wanted. We recorded it 1 or 2 days in that time. They were actually recorded in Barney's basement. He's our sound guy now. Greg. Was he recording other bands too? Todd. He recorded the choke record and a few other things. I think he decided he is more of a live sound guy. I remember one of the highlights of that session, which Barney claims he didn't have these, but we went into his room closet and he had white jeans. I remember Sutton putting on these white jeans, walking around wearing them for a while, but he claims he never had white jeans. That's been a point of contention for the last 30 years. We hope you enjoyed that little excerpt from Chapter 13, Fuck the Border with Todd Kowalski. Okay, and finally, before I cut back to Greg concluding the interview, let me play you the couple sound effects I didn't get to use. All right, back to Greg.
Well, Mat Comtois over in Washington State by way of Quebec, Canada. By the way, I love that you're a Canadian who read the book as well. Like, that is really nice. Really, really nice little detail, too. So thanks for being here, man. I really appreciate it. I cannot believe we got this thing over the finish line. Pure perseverance and tenacity and the will to get it done made it a productive summer. So thank you so much, man. It means a ton.
Thank you, dude. That was a fucking awesome experience.